look, we really want to feel for you ladies. We really want to feel for you ladies having to rush back right after giving birth or whatever to work, but y'all ain't supposed to be working. You understand, in the grand scheme of things, you are not supposed to be working. And here, let's rewind the clock, because some idiot was like, well, women have always worked in the traditional home, yeah, on farms. And that doesn't mean that they were working, they were just doing their part. You understand? It was a cohesive unit, because when we start talking about farming communities, baling hay, milking cows and such was all just congruent to like living life, like your sustenance and how you bartered for food, sold food, whatever. And then there was a point where a milkmaid became a thing, where women were traditionally milking cows and men were baling hay. Now, women who got to sit down on their backsides weren't complaining about it being woman's work and only woman's work and man's work to bale hay when we want to go bale hay. But if you tell one now that it's woman's work to you know what I mean, and don't bale hay, they'll fight tooth and nail. Actually, it might be like underwater, like welding, where they won't get into baling hay because they won't complain about it, like selective service, the physical fitness time and requirements in the military, stuff like that. They don't want equality, they want equity, right? So when we get out of farming community right around World War II, the government, powers that be, realized that women were willing to work just as hard, if not more, to prove themselves for less money. And then so when women's lib took place and y'all got integrated into the workplace, and we say y'all, we do mean white women, because our women were already working within our communities and wasn't a fight and men telling them you have to stay home barefoot and braided. Because again, Mr. in the color purple is the exception in the black community, not the norm, and the inverse in the white community. And that's what got women's lib going. Plus y'all needed to get nuts too, where we get like, no, there was a problem. There was a spike in divorce. As soon as women got equal rights and the ability to do so, there was a spike, because a lot of y'all weren't being sexually satisfied, couldn't say nothing, and the men didn't care. And again, in that whole sentence that set up on the foundation that white men taught us, because the thing that everybody knows in America, all of us, about monogamy, marriage, and such and such and such, they're European standards by the European immigrants that are living here calling themselves natives. You understand? So the fact that society, and we get it, is like back in the 60s, they should have had all this ironed out. And this is why people that are opposed to CRT on the pro-black woke and now tip are like, yo, it's not complete. And our thing is like, you want absolutely nothing to be a tool to reference for white people as far as them not being as racist as they have been, because they're all racist, right? Binary, on, off. Or you want nothing and you just want to be the first person that a white person comes across that tells them that they're all racist and working into an inherent system worldwide. Is that what you want? That's because this is what you Negroes are saying. And then on top of it, the Negroes that are opposed to CRT ain't even seen none of the lesson plans, and y'all ain't even looked up the definition. You know what I mean? Like, you have no idea what CRT really means, and y'all just heard, oh no, it's not complete. And then you hop on the bandwagon. Now, how do y'all sound like? Because there was a whole campaign online, just like with All Lives Matter, to like sincerely put out bad data on CRT. Like, it was the dude that came out and admitted it. All Lives Matter was just socially engineered, because all they had to do was add in, well, it's not all black people, it's all about black people, when nobody said it was only Black Lives Matter. We said Black Lives Matter. And again, we were saying Black Lives Matter until someone hijacked the name and made it into an organization and started swindling people. So when you say F Black Lives Matter, you're saying F your own life, right? But nobody on the outside hears you. Why? It's kind of like when you say something about the alphabet community, like, oh, they shouldn't let trans women beat up on regular women, and then they just like, oh, you're just being anti. You see how this works? Not all white people. That's you. Anywho, you should know the drill by now. Like this, comment to add value. Send this to your peoples. Follow this account. Good talk. Glad we had it.
REX.